Yeah.
She'll never hear it.
Nope. Wait, does this not work?
No.
Oh.
This is just a formality.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Trial run.
Yeah. This is rehearsals. I wrote some questions.
Oh.
I asked
Your
someone,
handwriting is still very small.
Is this small?
Smaller than my handwriting.
You know what I just recently started doing? These guys know about it. I journal all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I wonder if I have any representation of it.
Do you
I know I do.
do you doodle?
No. I write backwards.
Oh yeah.
Don't. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, like that's a normal thing.
It's not a normal thing, but that's a normal thing for us.
Well, yeah. So like, whenever I'm,
It says hope.
yeah.
It says fighting.
Mhm.
It's like I'm looking at a mirror.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, is it mirrored letters too?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Letters. But it's
Like a red rum situation.
well, what I found was whenever I was journaling on the lines, I would get over here and then I would have to lift up my hand and go over.
Oh, so it's just
Inefficient.
yeah,
And
just
so
go back.
I'm just zigzagging.
Yeah.
See, I'm not crazy, guys.
Yeah.
Something to say
No.
off.
Yeah. Maybe.
We'll find out today. Finally did that 23andMe.
But yeah, I asked someone. I was like, I'm interviewing my brother, and they know nothing about the project at all. But I was like, what question should I ask him?
Oh, cool.
And he said,
Does he know anything about
when
me?
did he know he was gay?
Oh.
I was
Okay.
like, that's a very tells you who my friends are, I guess.
Are your friends gay? Like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm affirming. I'm an ally.
It was very caught me off guard.
Yeah. No, I
crossed it out. I wrote it down.
I still get hit on by gay guys.
Oh, me too. All
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
I never get hit on by women ever.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
I was just at a conference. There were 250 something photographer entrepreneurs there. 4 guys.
Yeah.
No, 5, because I was one of them.
3 of them, okay.
2 of them were gay.
There we go. That's the correct ratio.
They came together. They were husbands. But yeah, didn't get hit on a single time by the gay guys or straight guys or any of the women. That's probably helped, but
Yeah. Maybe this isn't enough. Are you ready?
sure.
Okay. So what do you remember about whenever we found out? Just like tell me the story of it all, because I don't have a whole lot of recollection of that day.
Okay, so I don't either.
Perfect. This
Yeah,
is good for us.
this was great content. I don't remember a lot. I want to say, I don't know, a lot of my memories from, I think we were still living at the Rockdale house. A lot of my memories from there, they kind of blend together, different things that they told us and stuff. But I remember it being a very like serious and like somber, like sit down, we got to tell you this thing. And I remember you and I just being like, yeah, okay. Like, that's not you. We understand. But that was it. I don't really remember what all they told us. And I know, like, over the years since then, we've learned a lot more about the whole situation and all that. But I don't even remember what all they tell us, other than, you know, that our dad was put on like the sex offender list, and that was the reason that we couldn't live in certain houses, and like why we moved after just a few months in one house in Victoria, which I remember as, I don't know, probably like an 8 or 9 year old when we were there, just thinking that was so weird that we lived in one house and then we moved to another house within a year, and it was because people threatened to picket our house if we didn't move. But yeah, I don't really remember a ton of the actual conversation that day.
Yeah. Do you remember? Well, then let's go back to like Victoria. Then,
Okay.
like, what do you remember? I know there's a whole year that you don't remember,
Yeah.
but
I don't remember anything about that second house.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Because we lived there for a while.
I know. The majority of it.
I have those memories, but
Yeah.
yeah. In Victoria, do you remember any of that stuff? Like, what did you feel like a hinting, or like in retrospect, do you think that like?
In retrospect, I knew something was weird. I didn't like the energy in the house was really strange when we were moving from
I'm
that
sorry,
first
can you
house.
Start that one again. I
Yeah.
jumped to that light. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh yeah, cool. I remember, yeah, I remember that the energy was kind of weird when we were moving from the first house that we lived in. That someone was threatening to picket, and then we had to move. I remember that whole moving process was just like there were tensions, but I figured it was just moving, and we had done that plenty of times, so I didn't really know what was going on. But no, I had no idea as an 8 or 9-year-old looking back.
Do you remember what those tensions were like?
No, not really. It felt, I don't know, like there was a lot of just not good feelings, stress, a lot of stress, a lot of tensions between like our parents and having to move. It felt like there was a lot of tension around moving, which I didn't know why at the time, but it makes sense now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the house. Correct me if I'm wrong. You hit me in the face with a zippered pillowcase. You had a silk pillowcase. And you hit
That
me
is
in
that
the
house.
face,
Yeah.
because we were boxing pillow.
Every Tuesday night, we would have our dad would watch Tuesday night fights on pay-per-view or something. I don't even know how TV worked back then. I know we had like 3 channels, and one of them was for our Super Nintendo. But he would watch the fights, and we would, during the commercial breaks, bring out our pillows, and then we would have our rounds during the commercial break. And I had this silk pillow that I loved, and it had a zipper on one side, and I grabbed it by the other end once and caught you across the face. And I think that was the end of those. I don't think we did it again, because it hurt you a lot. I think it drew blood even, because we were going at it with those pillows. But yeah, that was the house. That was that one. I think that was the same one where we would just go in the backyard and dig holes out by the tree for hours, and then we would fill them back in and come in for dinner. And that's what I remember at that house.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Maybe that was like punishment or something.
I'm just gonna check one thing here.
Yeah, you're good.
While you guys are in between something.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was also the house with the girl with crippled legs that her dad ran over her legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she was like behind his truck or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just,
She was our only friend. And she would come over in her wheelchair and sit there while we dug holes. And it was a riveting time.
okay, let's flash forward back to like what kind of, so you've told me before that you really loved basketball, not something that I knew necessarily.
Uh-huh.
And that was when we found out, we were kind of faced with this decision of, do we keep on doing basketball where
Right.
our dad can't watch us?
Right.
And he was very involved. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you.
You may, because my memories are not the best.
Okay.
But yes, no, you're correct. Because we found out over the summer before my senior year of high school. And I had been working so hard. we had like these jump sole things that I would wear to build my calf muscles, and I really wanted to dunk because I was 5'9", and I could jump higher than our 6'6" friend on the team, and I really wanted to dunk, and that was my goal for senior year, was to be able to dunk. And I started dunking over summer, which was an amazing feat. It was really cool. And I was very much looking forward to my senior year, being on varsity, being able to dunk, maybe getting into college. But like that was when we found out, because I think someone had talked to our basketball coach, which is a homeschool league. We were in, like, we didn't have our own school, so we were playing basketball in a rented old gym of a high school, and I think it was for free or something. And someone had found out at the school that our dad had was on the sex offender list, and they said he's not allowed in the school or in this gymnasium anymore. So if he's here, if he's going to help coach, even if he's going to come here and watch his kids play, you're going to have to start paying. We're not going to let you play here for free. And that was the decision of, well, Troy, you can't go to the games anymore. And you and I, like, immediately, once they told us this whole story, we were just like, okay, yeah, we're not going to play. Like, it's not that important for us to go play basketball if dad can't be there and watch us. And it wasn't until there was a documentary on Michael Jordan. I don't know why I was blanking on that name. He's like the biggest basketball player. But about Michael Jordan and the Bulls. It's called The Last Dance. Came out years ago. And my wife and I were watching that one night, and I just like broke down crying, because at that point I realized how important basketball was to me, and that was kind of like a conduit of, I could get into a college, like 5'9" dude, being able to dunk. I could run really fast. I had like hang time, and I figured it was a pretty good catch for some scout out there. And but like consciously, I didn't really put that together at the time until 15 years later watching this documentary, and then just started crying of like that trajectory of life just completely got cut out. And that was really difficult, going through that and realizing that decision that we made, which I wouldn't change the decision now, still wouldn't go back and play. But yeah, I remember that about whenever we were told.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I don't know, I'm always a little bit envious of people that feel like they had their life at least mostly figured out, or like whenever they were 18 or
Right.
whatever, seniors, they were just
Yeah.
like, I know
I'm going to go to this college. I'm going to do this thing. I have this career path. Yeah, I remember people asking me all the time, like, are you going to college? What are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I have no dreams or goals. I don't want to be an astronaut. I don't want to go like do these things. And I think at the time didn't realize I was an entrepreneur and didn't have the cognitive ability to be like, oh, I just want to work for myself and build something. Until later on, whenever I was working a corporate job, I'm like, this is not what I want. I want to work for myself. And I think that was probably why I didn't have that dream of going to college and having some big career or degree or something like that. But yeah, it was always, I felt strange and very different, because a lot of my friends knew what they wanted to do, knew what college they wanted to go to, and all of that. And I just knew that I was graduating, and that was it.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to put like too much weight on the way that we grew up or how the wrongful conviction affected us.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there's plenty of kids that don't know what they want to do. But I wonder if it was like us operating out of a place of survival. Because whenever you're trying to survive and trying to like just figure out normal life, it's hard to like think about the future because you're just focused on the here and now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember much about, like, I don't remember much. Maybe we're the worst people to do this. But I don't really remember much about any kind of conversations that were had around. I always felt like they were like, you can do whatever you want.
Yes.
And that's debilitating.
The unlimited options just gives you nothing because it's just like, I can do whatever I want. What do I want to do? I have no idea. Because I didn't feel like I had a passion to do anything. I knew that I wanted to have like a flexible job where I could work from home and be with my future kids and wife. And that was it. I was like, I don't know what this is going to look like. I remember at 17, I wanted to buy, because I think at the time, like Sears still sold those like those craftsman homes where it would just drop all of the all the pre-cut boards and everything for you, and then you would pretty much put it together like an IKEA bookshelf. And I wanted to buy one of those for like $35,000 at 17, which I was short about $34,500. And I just wanted to build it and then rent it out and then use that money to buy another one and then, become like this real estate mogul. But that was because I wanted to be able to work from home. And that's what I saw as an option. And that was what I knew could happen. And then obviously that did not happen. But yeah, I think that I do know that we were told a lot, we could be whatever we wanted. And, you can go to school. You don't have to go to school. You can start your own business. I mean, you and I started that t-shirt screen printing business in high school, and that did fairly well. I mean, it gave us some extra money here and there until we got bored of it. And we're just like, sell all this stuff. But yeah, I think, I didn't really have a path. And that may have been from just that survival of our parents in how they were just trying to survive, and how, Dad lost his job at the auto parts store and then started a cleaning business because he was like, I can clean at 2 a.m. when no one is here, and no one's going to care if, I'm wrongfully convicted of anything because no one's here. And then that just kind of shaped our whole childhood of being, emptying trash and mopping floors at the early hours of the morning, and just hanging out with our parents.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit more of growing up like that. And then maybe like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the idea of they created this bubble, this like this core unit that, for me, I think it helped me whenever I moved away. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, there's a world out here, and then that's whenever things started to click of like, what do I actually want? But whenever I was close to them, it was just like, well, this is it. This is all that there is, because this is all that I've ever known, because we were so close to it.
Yeah. But. Yeah. I mean, we definitely did have that bubble. I remember when we moved that house that we were talking about with the pillow fights. The reason that that girl in the wheelchair, don't know her name, sorry, a girl in the wheelchair. But the reason that we only had like that one friend in that place was because we were told, we had moved, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times before we even moved to Victoria. And every time that we moved, we were told, you and your brother, y'all are each other's best friends. Anytime that we move, you're going to have each other and y'all can play together. And I think that definitely like strengthened our relationship, especially being so close in age. We could have totally grown up as, enemies and just fighting all the time. But we were really good friends and are, I think. And, but that was like the bubble of, we're going to have this no matter where we move. If we move to this house, we're going to have this bubble of our family. If we move to another city, we're going to have the same bubble. Like this is going to be our constant. And that was probably due to knowing we're going to be moving a lot. We're not going to be able to stay in one place. And because we were homeschooled, we didn't have our school friends that we would going to like a public school.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any recollection or remembrance of things that were hard? Like maybe now looking back, you're like, oh, this was related to the conviction, but at the time you were just like, why is this happening? Why am I going through this? Do you remember anything as a kid that was traumatic?
I remember wondering why we moved so often. And because I think by the time that we landed in Rockdale at, age, I think I was 12 or 13, we had already moved like 14 or 15 times that I could remember. From like 4 to 13, we had moved so many times. And that was always hard because we would make friends with, I remember being 6 and my best friend was David, and he lived like 3 houses down from our house. That would always like the street would flood every time that it rained like an inch. And that was so much fun as like a 6 and 4-year-old. And I remember that was really hard whenever we moved because he was a really good friend. And then we moved and we would make other friends with kids in the neighborhood, and then we would move again. And that was always difficult, not having those long-lasting relationships that once we got to high school age, a lot of our friends would be like, oh yeah, no, this is my best friend. We've been friends since we were 5. I'm like, I don't even know the kids that I knew when I was 5. I don't even remember their names now. And I know that was always difficult and hard to build those friendships and like pour into friendships because I didn't know how much longer we were going to be in one place. So yeah, that was difficult. I remember not realizing there was a girl that I was dating, and then she just ghosted me one day when we were supposed to hang out and never talked to me again. And I found out later through a mutual friend that she had an app that would show where people who were on the sex offender registry were living. And our house had popped up as one of those places. So then she was just out of there because she had had some trauma related to that in her past in younger years. So she was very, very like, I don't want to go anywhere near any of these houses. And that happened to be our house. And then she was just like, peace. I'm not even saying a thing, and heading out. And that was really difficult, knowing that that's something that didn't happen, something that, our dad was wrongfully accused of, was affecting my life in a different way than I thought it would, because I didn't really know what a sex offender list was. I was like, I don't know. You can't go to schools. We're homeschooled. That's okay. We're not going to schools. And but like seeing how that was affecting my day-to-day life was a lot more difficult.
Yeah. How old were you?
I don't know. Again, these years blend together.
Who was it? We'll cut out the name, but
I don't remember her name either.
Name? It wasn't Kayla.
No.
It was like after Kayla?
Yeah, so I was probably like 17, 18.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
somewhere around there.
I don't know who this is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did post finding out and having to get off basketball and figure out what life is like after that? Do you ever, as we discovered more things, did you ever have any feelings of, I guess, how did it affect your view of justice or law enforcement or just like the whole system in general?
I mean, it shaped my view of that law enforcement is not always for you. They are not always for your best interest and to serve and protect. That there are some out there who are just there to have another notch in their belt of another conviction, another, certain percentage of people, like the prison being 98% full or whatever. And that's what they had, that quota of that they're working toward, instead of trying to serve and protect and innocent until proven guilty, and all the things that we hear about or that like we see on like Law and Order shows and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is not real. This is not every cop. Like every cop is not for you. And that really changed the way that I saw law enforcement, to where I, did not always trust them. And any time that I would get, pulled over for speeding in my Mustang or anything like that, I would not assume that they had my best interest at hand. Yeah.
Do you have any doubt?
That of the wrongful conviction that it did happen? No. I mean, there were times like as a teenager that I was like, what if, like when I was questioning everything and just what is real? What is, questioning my faith and like, what if God isn't like an actual person or deity or whatever? But yeah, during that time when I was questioning everything, I would run scenarios of like, what if this actually did happen? And like, he has just been lying for the last 23 years and all that. But no, immediately I was like, that doesn't fit like his character and just, and hearing the evidence, quote unquote, that they had of him, it just didn't make sense to me that it could have happened.
Yeah, I get asked that question a lot. To me, of like, do you have any doubts? And I mean, if I'm honest, maybe. I don't know, but we don't know. And what I always come back to is like, innocent until proven guilty. I think that's a good motto.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It's like the way that he treated us, the way that, and sure, there's stuff that he treated us poorly in some regards.
Right.
But he did the best that he could.
Yeah.
I would say it just doesn't align. Like, none of that ever happened. Like, nothing sexual ever happened with us.
No.
Which is such a nice thing.
It is very nice. Yeah. The thing that I'm worried about with like that year that I don't remember of like, I think I was like 9, I think that year in that second house, I was like, what if like something did happen to me? And that was like a trauma response to like block that out. But yeah, it is very nice that there's not any sort of, sexual assault or anything on us when so many people have had that in their past as young kids.
Yes, and still have to deal with
And
that
still have to
person
deal
in
with
their
it.
life.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up part about it.
Mm-hmm.
So glad we don't have that. I learned this
Okay.
in talking to Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
You were brought in for questioning.
As a child?
Yes.
Yes, I also learned that through talking to them. I have no, because I was, I believe, 4 at the time, and I don't have a lot of memories from before like 5 years old. I remember being dropped as a 2-year-old by a friend of the family as he was running, and I remember also like 3 or 4 years old being like picked up in Dad's like 5 o'clock stubble, like that shadow just like rubbing on my face to make me laugh. And I remember how that did not feel good. It was like sandpaper, but I was just laughing. And I remember that as a kid, but I don't have a lot of other memories pre 5 years old. So I don't remember being brought into question. But yeah, I also learned that they brought me in. I don't know if they questioned me by myself. Cool. No guardian at all. Yeah. Yeah, I have no recollection of being in an interrogation room with the police.
Yeah, such weird
That's very strange.
thing. Now that you know about what they did, how they hid things,
Mm-hmm.
and who they are, you know,
Yeah.
John Carter, Richard Branson, Ken Anderson, those people.
Yeah.
What would you say to them? How like, do you have any questions for them? Do you do you have any statements, questions, or like, anything like?
Yeah. I don't know. Just like, why? Hey, was it worth it? Because it wasn't just our dad in our family that they completely changed the trajectory of our lives by, withholding evidence and knowing that he was innocent. They did that to other people, a lot of people. And that changed a lot of lives and probably ended a few too. And yeah, I would just ask them, like, whatever clout of 100% conviction rate or whatever they were striving for, was it worth it to know that they just completely shook so many lives and like so many children, like you and I were young kids, 2 and 4, that changed our entire life, because our lives would have been very different. I don't know if for the better or for the worse. Who knows? Because this is what we got. But yeah, they changed a lot of lives, mostly for the worse, with these wrongful convictions and withholding evidence and all that. So yeah, is it worth it?
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a wind chime.
There's a wind chime outside.
Okay.
Do we want to?
We can take it down.
I'll go kill it.
Okay.
I haven't heard it at all.
Yeah, this is the first time.
Yeah, it's on the pillar that's just like right out there. The lock on the top, that gold one, is like a weird one. You got to pull toward the door, from like grab the top and bottom of it, and then pull. Yeah.
Safety.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safety.
Safety's nice.
Yeah, we'll wait until he's back, but you touched on it a little bit, but do you think, I can't help but silver lining, I silver line everything.
Same. Yeah.
And so, like, in my mind, like...
I feel like that came from Dad, of like, there's always a silver lining, you know, even with having to move so much, even with having to pull us out of school, even with a wrongful conviction and being on the sex offender list and all of that, he always pointed toward a silver lining and like really taught us that there's always a silver lining. There's always something to look at, that there's a positive in all of this. Even in like the darkest storm, there's some silver lining somewhere, which I think has been great. I think is definitely the positivity that I focus on in just day to day. And like I've been through a lot of trials, especially like this last couple of years has been some of the roughest years, and there's always something that I look to that's a positive, whether that's good or not. Sometimes I need to like see the negative things and be like, okay, but we got to get this negative out of here. I'm like, no, but there's a positive also.
Yeah, I think it definitely has its faults.
There's a thin line between positivity and like toxic positivity of the like the Christianese of like, how are you doing? Oh, we're blessed. You know, we're blessed. God is good. It's like, those are true things. You are blessed. God is good. But you're also going through some stuff right now. It is a rough time. And it is okay to say, I'm having a week, man. It has been hard. And being vulnerable. So I think, yeah, there's like that toxic positivity that definitely fell into for years and years.
Yeah, I think something that you and I both struggle with, and I think that this is related to how, well, I'll speak for me. I was very guarded around everyone. No one got in.
Yes.
It was all a facade.
Same.
Yeah.
Yes. I did not know who I was until I was about 25. Maybe 23, because I got married at 24, and I feel like the 6 months leading up to before I met my wife, I really found who I was and stopped trying to put on a bunch of different faces for different people. And when I'm with this group, I like these things and I act this way. When I'm with this group, I like these things and I listen to this music and I dress this certain way. And like, you know, if they ever come together, it's just, I don't even know who I am and what I do. And yeah, it wasn't until like 23 or 24 that I finally realized, or had the mental capacity to sit down and think of, who am I? What do I actually like? What do I want in my life? And what do I want to spend my time thinking about and doing and all of that? And I'm glad I did it then, instead of, you know, years into a marriage and being like, actually, I'm not the person you thought I was when we got married, and having to deal with all of that. But yeah, I would always guard myself, and I was a huge people pleaser. I wanted everyone to like me, and I would tell you whatever you wanted to know. or whatever I thought you wanted to hear. And that's what I was into. That's what I liked. And of course I want to go see that band with you because I love that band. And I'm going to go buy all their albums now so I know some of the lyrics before we get there. But yeah, I definitely, I felt like I was very vanilla, even though vanilla is a great flavor. But I was very bland. I felt like I was a very bland child because I tried to get people to like me. So I didn't really have much of a personality. I didn't really have much of who John was, because I was very guarded and because I just wanted to be liked.
Yeah. What do you think do you think that it stems from all of the experiences of having to leave people?
Uh-huh.
Or I think you could also like dive into any remembrance that you have of getting kicked out of any churches. We have a lot of those experiences.
We have a few.
So if you want to just take them chronologically, and feel free to like tell the story of that. So like kind of wrap it up into more of a story than a response to a question.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember us attending this church. It was a pretty small church, and there were a couple other guys who wanted to start their own church, and they asked Dad if he would go start with them as like, that was like the core deacons, elders, whatever. They would kind of be like the three pastors of this new church. And that was another time that we just like got picked up and moved into a new situation and kind of lost contact with the people in that old church that we had been at for years. And now we were with new people and a new environment, which was par for the course for us because that happened over and over again through our childhood. And I remember maybe 6 months into the church, someone had brought up that they found out that Dad was on the sex offender list. And they did not feel comfortable with him being in leadership at this church, and being, he wasn't like a youth pastor or anything, didn't have anything to do with the kids, but they just didn't feel comfortable with him being in a church with children, which is like every church. And I remember them calling a meeting, and they brought our entire family to the church, and it was just the other two pastors, leaders of the church. And they essentially just said, we're kicking you out of the church. It's been brought to, it wasn't like new information for them. Before this, Dad had already talked to them about, hey, I'm on this list. This is, years and years ago. You can believe what you want to believe. If I did this or not, I didn't do this. I was wrongfully convicted, but I want to be upfront and honest with you. And they said, like, even if this did happen, it is years ago before Christ. This is not you. We know you, and we want to start this church with you. And then 6 months later, we were called in, and I remember you and I went to, we just went straight to the stage to play on the guitars and drums and stuff, because we were teenagers just playing. And I remember the tensions being really tense in there, of them telling our parents, you're not welcome in this church anymore. Go ahead and grab any stuff you have here. Please don't walk through the doors again. And then we were out, and we had to find a new church and new friends and a new community. And that was very difficult, because that's the first time that I really remember a church kicking us out of the church and saying, you don't belong here. We won't accept you. And that was very difficult as a teen and someone who grew up in the faith, in the church, and hearing that from other people and people in leadership that you're not good enough for here was really hard.
For confession, that day, that church for some reason had this like sweet custom snare that they had made, and I was playing on it, and so then I just swapped it out with my shitty one.
You took their
Stole it.
snare?
Yeah. A little bit of a fuck you.
That's great.
Yeah. Man, yeah, that was a hard one. I remember that one really well. Also HBC stuff. And you were there for the because I was in Minnesota. The second one.
The second
that
one
was doing like home church or something.
Yes.
Something crazy happened.
Yeah. So the second one that I remember us getting kicked out of, we had been at this church. This was, I think, the one that we went to after that first church kicked us out. We went to another church, very community based. Every single Sunday, have dinner on the grounds. Everyone was in community. Everyone knew each other. And it was great. I loved it. It was a really tight group of friends. They were pretty much my friend group those years, which would have been like probably 17 to 19, 20, somewhere around there. We were there for a few years. And at one point, I think Dad had been preaching on the radio for a while. And just every week would have a sermon that would go out on the local Rockdale radio station. And he would preach the sermons. But we were still attending this church. And at some point, he felt called to start his own church, and we started a home church. And I was on the worship team, and we had talked to them about how we were going to be leaving and starting this home church, and we didn't want to like split off and take part of the congregation or anything. We were just gonna like quietly just leave and start a home church, and that became very hostile of taking part of the worship team. And like I played guitar, and they had to quickly find someone else to play guitar, which they had plenty of people to play guitar. But it was a very hostile environment there, and people to this day that will not talk to me. I saw one of them recently at a wedding that I photographed, and they were there, and just cold shoulder, didn't want to talk. And that was really rough, because these were people that, it was that very community driven church, and this was my community. These were my friends. And then it was just a wall. And again, gone, lost friends, back to just us in our bubble. And, the 4 or 5 people that would attend church in our living room. And that was very, very hard, because I tried to keep some of those friendships going, and they had no part of it. They didn't want to.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
There's a story that Dad told of news reporters coming to our house in Rockdale. Do you remember this?
I remember them coming to the house, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like, we were told to stay inside and not talk to them. I remember, I think he met them outside and, told them to go down to the end of the drive, off the property and talk to them over the fence. But yeah, I don't know what that was about. And, and it was just one of those things that was, stay inside. Don't try to listen. You don't need to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested in this. There's two, it's twofold, I guess. So now that you have perspective as a father, would you, if you were in that situation, would you make that same decision? That's question one.
Okay.
Second question would be, I forgot it, and I'll think about it.
Cool. Would I, as a father, shield my kids? I think in some ways, yes. There are still some things that, our oldest is almost 9, and there's still some things that we shield from him. We don't talk about, we're talking about finances and like money troubles and stuff and budgeting and all that. And he got very worried about, are we going to have food? We're like, we're fine. Don't worry about it. And there's some things that we do try to shield the kids from, and that I would shield them from. But I believe that I need to treat the kids like they're people. And I think that, yeah, if there were reporters, I'd probably say go back inside. Like, I don't want you out here. I don't want them filming you or trying to get the kids to talk to them or anything. But I would also be open about, like, this is what's going on. I don't want you all to be afraid. I don't want you to worry about, why are there reporters at our house? Or why are we being kicked out of this house and need to move to a new one? And explaining that to them in a way that, maybe don't go into full detail, but just being a little more open and including the kids into what's going on in our lives. Instead of, I felt very excluded for a lot of things. Now looking back and just being like, had no idea all of this was going on. Which part of that is probably good. Like I remember, there was one night that we were told, like, y'all love peanut butter crackers for snacks, and we're going to have peanut butter on crackers for dinner. Y'all get to have that tonight. And that was because we didn't have any other food in the house. And that was their way of like, this is a treat, you guys. We get to have snacks for dinner. And we were just so excited about that. And now looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, like we didn't have money and we didn't have food, but they like sheltered us from having to worry about that. As an 8-year-old, what am I going to do? I've got a piggy bank with like $7 in quarters or something. And, yeah, I don't know. I think there's some good things about sheltering or shielding from trauma, and like not having the kids have to worry about things. But there's also a great deal for being open and honest with them as well. It's a hard line to toe.
We gotta kill that AC.
We can kill the AC.
Yeah, it's so difficult. What comes to mind about that is like this. This won't lead anywhere, but I just say.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever read The Hiding Place, Corrie ten Boom?
Yes.
Maybe.
I think so.
So her dad It's about Nazis, about them Nazis.
Yeah.
And her dad would often say, when it's a lot like physical weights. Like, I am a strong man, so I can lift this heavy weight. And there are certain things emotionally that you are not strong enough to deal with. So I will carry the weight for you until it's time to pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a nice way to. Is it?
You're good, yeah.
Okay. It'll
Okay.
eventually end.
It's off now.
Yeah, I can still hear it from over here.
Fridge.
Yeah, your AC.
Yeah.
It's less than it was.
Yeah, it was less than the
Yeah, I feel like
kicking on.
Okay.
There it is.
Waiting for that. I knew it was gonna happen. Yeah, I think. Well, and also, I mean, we've had this conversation before, but if you were in the situation that Dad was in,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, either you risk it,
Yeah.
or you take it. Like, would you have the same decision? Like, would you come to that?
I think, because, yeah, we've had this conversation before, and I've run through this in my mind of, like, if I was in his shoes at this time, would I have made the same decision? And I keep coming to yes, especially at the time in, what was it, like 92, 93, somewhere around there. There was no national sex offender list. It was just, if you say you're guilty, then you've got a little bit of jail time on the weekends, and then you've got 10 years of probation, and that's it. And you still get to be around your kids and your wife, and you still get to watch them grow and be an influence in their life, instead of, there's a good possibility if you say that you're not guilty, we will get you for this, and you will be in prison for at least 10 years. And your kids will be teenagers by the time you see them again. And, what is that going to look like for them? And how hard is their life going to be, being, single mom with 2 kids and all of that. And I think, given that, I would have said yes too, and just been like, okay, then fine. If you have this evidence, obviously it's not real because I didn't do this, but the consequences, like, don't outweigh not being with my family. So yeah, I would have done the same thing and taken the same plea deal.
To people that you and I grew up in this, and we understand. Well, now we understand it.
Yeah.
The future influences the past, or informs the past. Because this will go to people that don't understand it, and people that are suspicious of convicts, and I understand that. But at the same time, what do you have to say to those people that are apprehensive of people that are convicted? Or even, let's start there.
I've heard people say, not necessarily pointed at our situation, but just in wrongful convictions, of, well, if you were close enough to be convicted anyway, even if it was wrongfully convicted, you probably did something wrong, so you should be locked up. And that is not always the case. It's not always the case that you did do anything wrong, because it could be completely fabricated, or it could be something that someone misspoke and happened to identify you in a lineup or something, and you actually did nothing wrong, and you weren't close to doing anything wrong. Especially with like, sexual assault or harassment or something like that, where it is, I've heard other people say, if you were convicted or someone accused you of doing something, then that's it. Like, you should be convicted because you were close enough to it. You probably did something. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I've heard the counter to my position is that we should just accept that we're going to have some wrongful convictions. But it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if we don't have those wrongful convictions, then we're going lax on people that actually did do the crime.
Right.
And then they're going free.
Yeah. The argument of it's better to imprison a few innocent people than to let a few guilty roam free. And I see that argument. I see that fear of, I don't want guilty people. I don't want, dangerous people out in the world. I would rather lock all them up and have a few innocent people that get swept in the process. But it goes back to in America, it is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and not, we think you're guilty, so we're going to lock you up. And you might be innocent, but that's okay. Tough luck. I see that argument, and I understand where that's coming from, of wanting that peace and having that fear of dangerous people. But there are a lot of lives that get affected by innocent people being convicted and being imprisoned or put on lists or having probation and having these marks on their record that affect them throughout the rest of their life.
Yeah. What would you say to other kids of wrongfully convicted parents? Then you can take your time. We're not in a hurry.
Yeah. I don't know. Never really thought about other kids of wrongfully convicted parents. Yeah.
It makes me, I'm not an emotional, well, I've always said that I'm not emotional, but then I cry like more than I ever have recently.
I think as you and I have found who we are and have like taken off a lot of the masks, we have found that we are a lot more emotional. Because I always said the same thing. I'm not an emotional person. Like any of those like tests of, are you a sociopath? I'm like, oh, like I ticked all of those boxes. I have no emotion to all of this. But I am a much more empathetic person now. And I don't know what I would say. There's something that we can do. I know that our lives have been changed as children of someone who's wrongfully convicted. And and you can help others not have to go through that, not be moved from house to house, not be kicked out of different churches, not have shallow friendships that only last 2 years until you're off to the next. And you can help others live a more full life where they know who they are and they've got those close friends, and that your parents are not always looking over their backs of who is it this time that's going to tell us we're not welcome? Who is it this time that's going to call the news, to show up at the house? But yeah, that we can make a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah. Okay. I see. So like you're taking it from like this perspective of like adult children.
Adult children, yeah.
Yeah. I like
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking of. Like,
Yeah.
you and I are
Right.
adult children. But
that.
yeah,
Weird way to say that.
it is a weird way.
Adult children. How are we on time?
17.
Okay. Great. Cool.
So I'm just gonna toss this over there. It vibrated. It's on silent, but
Yeah, I think that's really good because if we think statistically, see, I was thinking of like smaller,
actual small children.
smaller kids.
Yeah.
But statistically, you're absolutely right. Like, if we have, it's supposed to be 6% of people that are incarcerated
Yeah.
are wrongfully convicted. That's around 120,000 people, not including their families. So
Yeah.
then their families, if they have 2 kids, it's like an inordinate amount of people. And that kind of people that are, you no longer have to be the victim or the one that's getting the stuff done to. You can turn around and start doing the stuff back.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like made me realize like, oh, I got power.
Yes.
This is power.
Yeah.
Like, you guys think you have the power, but I have the people. I have the people on my side.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And this whole documentary, this is powerful. This is something that 20 years ago would not be as powerful as it is today. This is something that people all over the world, all over America, will be able to see that this was not only done to us, and you just mentioned a lot of numbers and facts, and like there's the thousands and thousands of people who have been affected and wrongfully convicted, and not only them, but their families and their children and their children's children. Like yours and my children, the grandchildren of our dad, like their lives are different because of this wrongful conviction. And the power that we have is immense to tell these stories, to share that that this happens a lot. And it's very easy to just say like, oh, but it's just a few people. It's just, these ones that maybe they've already been imprisoned because they got caught doing this. But there are a lot of people who are still withholding evidence and wrongfully convicting others, and it needs to stop because it's hurting generations. And that's exciting that we have that power to do something. Because it has felt very powerless over the last 25 years or more. Math. It's felt powerless. Like this was done to us. Now we just have to deal. There's nothing we can do to change what has happened, but there is, and we're doing it. And that's powerful. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
17 minutes to whenever we need to cut, or 17 minutes until we need to like completely wrap.
It's almost noon.
It's 11.
Oh, it's almost noon. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's 17 minutes left on the card tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
13 minutes now.
Yeah. I think it's so good. I like the trajectory that we're on. It's very powerful.
Cool.
The idea of things always being done to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this comes at a very crucial time where, like, if you just look, you take like a social temperature of like, do you trust the government? No.
No.
Like, at least in my circles, no one trusts the government.
No.
Do you think law enforcement is good? 2020 really shaped the way that we're thinking about law enforcement.
2020 and the years since, more and more has come out of not just the bad apples. Because there's, the whole saying of like a bad apple spoils the bunch. And yes, there are good cops. Yes, there are people who do serve and protect. And a lot of them turn a blind eye to the ones who are continually written up of just atrocities and not taken out of the force. And, there's stories and stories of like 18 years of just being written up over, police brutality and, profiling and all sorts of things that person should not have remained on the force, but they did, because it's just, there's a lot of sweeping under the rug. And I think since 2020, the rug's getting pulled back, and we are seeing all the dirtiness, all the things that have been hidden away, because it is the time of information. We have information literally at our fingertips. We have so much news and so much information on our phones, on our screens, that is not always healthy to have all that much, but it's also empowering to people who have been silenced for years and years, that it can be spread. Your quiet voice can be amplified by others sharing it, and that's what we're seeing. And like you were saying, the distrust of law enforcement, the distrust of the government, and the lack of patriotism. I used to love being an American. And like, America, still a great country, I believe. And there are still some amazing people out there in leadership. But the more and more we see, it's just, we've turned the magnifying glass on those in leadership. And we're seeing all the flaws, and we're seeing all of the bribes and all of the stuff that they have been hiding over the years. And the same thing with all of these wrongful convictions and all of the evidence that has been hidden over the years in so many different cases that should have been an easy, oh, well, obviously they're not guilty because of this, but it was hidden. And yeah, the climate that we are at now is the perfect time for this. Because people want authenticity, and people want, like truthfulness. We want to, I want to believe that the police officers in this town have my best interests at heart, and that they do serve me. But I don't. There is doubt. There's a lot of doubt. And that is a difficult place to live, with that doubt of the people who are supposed to be there to protect you.
Yeah. Yeah, I my mind went many places while you were talking.
Mine also goes many places when I'm talking.
Let me know if we need to switch.
No one in there. This one's got stuff. But I think it's probably full. Let's see. Oh,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's got 7.
Yes.
It's 7.
Okay.
Yeah. You're good.
I think kind of going back to the argument that people have about, a couple eggs, you gotta crack some eggs and make an omelet.
Right.
What their oversight is, or their undersight? No, that's whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Either way, they're still out there. The person that actually did the crime is still out there.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah. I mean, like, every wrongfully convicted person, there is a wrongfully non-convicted guilty person out there. Where
You might want to say that differently.
yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. It made sense in my mind, yeah. But for every person who is wrongfully convicted and who is told they're guilty, but they are innocent, there is someone out there who is guilty, but was told they are innocent. And that is a much scarier place to live than the place where we're going to lock up a couple innocent people, and that's okay because we're locking up all the bad people, but you're not locking up all the bad people. A lot of them are still out because investigations were never formed because they were drawn to the conclusion of, oh, it's this person. Now there's no more investigation because the innocent person was proven guilty. You don't have to investigate anymore. And there's still someone out there who has committed crimes before and is going to likely commit more. And for those who are afraid of allowing a few guilty people to roam free, you're allowing more guilty people to roam free by locking up innocent people.
Yeah, good. That's good. There's I'm gonna throw some
Word association. Let's
go. Okay. Turbans.
Cardigan.
With plea bargaining, I found out talking to some experts. If you have money, helps.
Yeah.
So you can, Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
Epstein had 200 and something counts of human trafficking, and he got locked up for one count of soliciting a prostitute.
Yep.
Then you also have things like, there's a story that Justice Donnelly told me, and she is currently in prison. But she stole some stuff from some elderly people, like 50 things. She's a hoarder.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like family trinkets, and then she tucked it away. So she's a little loopy.
Yeah.
And she still had all of them, and so it was all returned. And then she thought that she was getting probation whenever they were going through that thing. And then at sentencing, the prosecutors flipped it and said, you agreed to 45 years in prison. And so that's like more like, yes, there's wrongful convictions, but there's also people that are just fucked by the system.
They're prey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the system is set up to prey on the weak. If you have money, you're not weak. You've got power because you have money. If you have certain privilege of either your skin tone or privilege of knowing other people who have power, that is power, and you are not weak. And it is set up to prey on those who are the weakest, because what can you do? You can't afford a good attorney. You can't afford, thousands and thousands of dollars and months of legal back and forth in trials. Like, you've got to take the plea bargain. You've got to. There's no other option because you don't have the power to say no. And we see that with so many people that there's obvious evidence that they are guilty, but they've got millions of dollars, they've got power, they have influence, they have other people who are in the system who know them, who can lessen those loads, who can say, okay, well, we're not going to get you for these other 47 things. We'll just get you for this one, and we'll do the lowest sentencing possible, because you're cooperating. It's all about power, and that is a really terrible way to treat the American people, to prey on the weak.
Yeah. Well, something that strikes me is that
I'm getting a call from Lifelet.
It's her lunchtime. She's probably just
Okay.
calling to
Making sure.
say hey. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. So one thing that strikes me is that our family's case,
Mm-hmm.
we are the minorities in wrongful convictions, but the majorities
Yes.
in ethnicity.
Yeah.
And I think that's a weird place to be. I honestly, where I'm at is I'm thankful that we're the majority,
Mm-hmm.
because for some reason we get more opportunities to do things like this. People
Yes.
trust us more or some shit.
Yep.
And so that gives us the opportunity. I think what I've been saying a lot lately is that all of it's just given to me. I didn't ask for any of this privilege.
Right.
But the fact that I got it so freely, I can freely give it
Yes.
and elevate other people's voices as well.
Yes.
And so I don't know if you have thoughts around more than 50% of wrongful convictions are black people, and they make up 13% of the population.
Right.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Not weird. It's gross.
It is gross.
Or that, whites make up, I think, 6% of wrongful convictions.
Yeah.
Which is, we're the dominant skin tone in here.
Right. Yeah. It's not a skin tone thing. That skin tone does not determine whether you are a criminal or not, or shouldn't. In the system that we have, it does sometimes. And I think that is, disgusting, sickening that people who represent 13% of the population are 50% of the wrongful convictions. And that just shines a light on who is in power, who has the power, and who they target. And it is. It's hard sometimes having the privilege that we do, straight white man, I've got a lot of privilege out there. I was dealt a great hand in life to nothing of my own. I did not make myself straight. I did not make myself white. I did not make myself man. This is how I was born and how I came into the world. And in the society and in the system that we have, that is upper tier. And that is sad. That for nothing that I did, I am seen as above others in some people's eyes. And yeah, like you mentioned, it's the privilege that I was given for doing nothing. And it would be a disservice to not elevate other voices with the privilege that I do have. Because people will listen to me a lot more than they will listen to someone else of another race or another gender or sexual identity or anything. For whatever reasons, they will listen to me more. And just like with like women's suffrage, 100 years ago or whatever, I'm not good on dates, but like the reason that women have the right to vote now is because men who had power stood up and said, this isn't right. They need equal representation. And they stood up against the other men who were in power to allow women to vote. And now they do. And that is great. And that is something that we as people who do have privilege need to do, to stand up for those who are being taken advantage of in the system, and saying, this isn't happening to me. I mean, yes, it is happening to me, you and I, but like for the majority of those in privilege, it's not happening to you. But you see the injustice happening to others. If you turn a blind eye, it's just as bad as if you're doing it. And I think that is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. It's a hard pill to swallow for me, seeing injustice toward others and just being like, well, what am I to do? I can't do anything. I'm not the one treating you this way. But I can stand up to those who are. And that goes back to that power that we have in this day and age, that we can stand up for others who don't have the foothold to stand themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Anything that you guys have? I feel pretty complete. Oh. Okay. That's a good question, Paul. Paul asks.
I'm excited.
Paul from San Antonio writes in. He says, "Hey, John, long-time listener.
First-time caller. Love the show, by the way.
Yeah. What do you feel like these people in power that are preying on the weak, what do they have to gain from it?
They have... I'm going to change the question. Great question, Paul. But I'm going to switch it around.
Reframe the question like I didn't ask it.
Yeah. So the people who are in power, who are taking advantage of the weak, the people who prey on those who do not have privilege, do not have money, do not have power, what they have to gain is retaining their power and not losing it. I think now more than ever, they're afraid because the masses have knowledge We've been kept in the dark for a long time. And they've been able to do whatever they wanted. And now they're seeing that people know what's going on. And a lot of this is getting out, and they are afraid. So I think they use this as an opportunity, as with every person that they prey upon, with every wrongful conviction, it is one more day of power for them. One more time that they have the peace of mind knowing that they're okay, their family's fine. I think that's what they are afraid of losing. And quite honestly, they need to lose it.
Yeah. Good question, bud. Okay, this is, unless you have something, Brent, or Paul, this will be the last one.
Okay.
Maybe. You know how it goes. This is just the last one.
Yeah. Just one,
75
one more. Yeah. But the light's so good right now.
Yeah. That's what's nice about this. It never changes.
I know.
Cats is we never close.
And then they did.
They did.
They're closed now.
So I asked Dad that question of, not the question of that, but what would you say to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he had some stuff to say, and then he came back afterwards and said that he would say, thank you, because what you did made me who I am now.
Yeah.
And who I am, I really like.
Yeah.
Which just is like, probably, I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous amount of optimism.
Yes. We come by it honestly.
Yes.
Our ridiculous amount of optimism.
Yes.
Our silver linings. I see that. I understand that. I think he is a much more forgiving person than I am. I can hold a good grudge. But yeah, I don't know if I would be the person that I am today had this not happened. I think through struggles and adversity, we do get stronger. And sometimes they're not necessary. This was not necessary. And I think there are some ways that maybe life would have built us up and we would have had different struggles to get to where we are. But yeah, I also like the person that I am. I've grown to like the person that I am. And I think that through this, it has created a much more forgiving person. Ironically, it has created a much more positive person because we had to be positive. With so much negativity, you can't just dwell. It'll eat you up. And you've got to look for those silver linings, and you got to be positive and move forward. And, the whole forgive and forget, I am much more forgive, but I still remember what you did. It maybe changes the way that I interact around you. But I'm not going to hold it against you. And yeah, this definitely has shaped who I am and how I treat people and how I want to use my privilege. Because if this didn't happen to us, then it would have just been happening to other people and may not have been as passionate to elevate voices and to help them out. And yeah, I don't know if I would say thank you. But I do like the person that I am through all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's such a weird situation because it's like, man, I am so empathetic and so understanding.
Yeah.
And I put myself, like, all of that could have been me. Any of these situations that I see could have been me. I could have been Palestinian. I could have been Israeli. Like,
Yeah.
all that stuff. All of that could have been me.
Yeah.
But yet I was born here.
Yeah.
And born into but that perspective, it changes so much, and you just have this immense amount of grace, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
of yeah, I think we're the realization that we're all going through something, and that something, it's your perspective that it's life or death.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there are people that grew up way worse than us.
Yeah.
There are people that were abused, that did have a dad that did do it,
Yeah.
and didn't get convicted.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the hard part is a lot of those people, I feel like, don't come to this place. It takes them a long time to come to this place where I'm okay with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, maybe I still don't like who I am. I'm glad that you do, but yeah, we're good there.
Yeah.
Cool. Golly, what fun, huh?
Fun.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Yeah.
You got anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Great. Are you
Cool.
Do you feel complete? That's what Paul says.
I think so. It's hard for me to think about individual memories of like, tell me about this thing.
Same.
It's really it's an interesting thing up here, how my memories are stored. So it's hard for me to be like, I know, I think we talked about everything.
Yeah, maybe like just. I guess you, instead of like thinking of individual memories, maybe just think of like the overarching feeling of childhood, feeling of growing up. Like what? Maybe describe that. That might be a better way to go about it. Unless it's not.
I don't have a lot of feeling from my childhood. I don't have a ton of memories. I don't have a ton of feeling anything really. And I think part of that is that we had to move so often, that we had been kicked out of different places, and to the point where by the second or third church that we were kicked out of, it was just like, well, okay, on to the next one. I'm not going to get hurt about this because just keeps happening, and that's life. For better or worse, I don't have a lot of feeling. It took me years and years to actually feel, to where I would tear up in conversations because it was just matter of fact, just, well, this is life. This is what happened. Whatever. I don't have emotions tied to it. Which was probably a trauma response and probably a way of maybe my body trying to shield me from feeling certain things through my childhood and through people treating us really poorly, that I just stopped feeling. So yeah, it's really hard to kind of crack open those childhood memories and what I was feeling at certain ages, because I don't know if I was.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Part of the reason why they both asked me if I wanted to be on camera. I don't even know.
Yeah, what am I gonna
I
add?
don't know. Yeah. What more could I add? Oh. what allowed you to start that shift? Getting into your emotions.
Really what caused me to shift into feeling more emotions and identifying them was late night conversations with my wife, who feels all the emotions. And I love that about her. It's something that I don't know, spent a lot of years of just not knowing who I was, not really feeling anything, and trying not to feel anything because I wanted people to like me, and I wanted to be neutral. So I wouldn't feel big feelings, and I wouldn't really feel emotions. Something terrible would happen. I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm just dealing with it. Something amazing and exciting would happen. I would be like, cool. I'm just trying to stay between a 4 and a 7 on the scale. I want to be right here in the middle. And having those late night conversations of like, how do you actually feel about this that's going on right now? You say it's not a big deal, or you say, you're not hurt by this, but I think probably the biggest thing was before we were even married, I had a roommate who stopped paying for rent, and I had to cover the whole rent and like maxed out credit cards in order to keep a place to live, and I didn't feel anything about that. And then having those conversations and being like, you're okay to feel angry about this. You're okay to feel hurt and taken advantage of. And that shifted the way that I thought about things and shifted the way that I processed emotions, and allowed me to really see this whole spectrum of emotions that I was actually feeling, but then suppressing to be even keel, John. Yeah, and just I have not personally gone to therapy, but I follow a lot of therapists, and I hear so many things about like ways to just talk to yourself and ways to look at things, and that has been life-changing to look through someone else's eyes at something, instead of just seeing from your own perspective. And that has really opened my eyes to a world of possibilities and emotions. It's been great.
Yeah. I highly recommend therapy.
Yes.
I started doing it. It's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Therapy is cool.
Actually, it takes off a burden from Molly, which I didn't know that I was putting on her. So maybe look into it.
One of the reasons that I haven't is because I am a little worried about what's going to come up, and if that's going to change who I am.
It will.
I don't think it will, but
It'll cause you to like, it concretes who you are.
yeah.
You already know who you are. Your past doesn't dictate who you are. Who
Right.
you are right now and who you want to be is what makes you who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do it.
Cool. Brought to you by BetterHelp.
Sponsored by.
Sponsor.
Except for selling your data.
Oh, you know it.
Ooh.
They really are.
Yeah.
Oh, I found that out and it just ate me up.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'm glad that I never signed up for them
Yeah.
or 23andMe.
Yeah. Anything that is advertised on the podcast. You know.
If it's free, you're the product.
Yes.
Yes.
Is BetterHelp free?
No.
Okay. Okay, we're good.
It is if you're a podcaster.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It was a lot,
Yeah.
but it was good.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. I mean, it's not on camera.
Okay.
No. whatever.
What?
Yeah.
Do you think that I should be on this? Do you think I should film myself?
I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. This is our conversation in which
Yeah.
what we're going to talk about.
I think your environment should be film pile. I think we make a throne of bones.
Ooh, yeah.
My kids, if there's a bunch of dead cows on the land, just
They've
go
been
pull
collecting
cows.
them.
And he came over and he was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real crazy.
No, I think it would be good to get your perspective on this too,
Okay.
because you've also been affected,
Yeah.
and you have something different to say than I would, than anyone else would, because it's your personal journey and experience. So, yeah, I think it'd be good for at least just a little bit. Yeah.
All right. That's probably going to go in.
You use some photographs, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Let me load. We'll need to.
He's on his he's got his.
Yeah. Let me. Where did it? No, but let's do.
He can go wherever you want.
Since